1920s era Winchester Dayton, 2023 Council Tool Dayton, 2022 Groundworks Michigan, 2022 Collins Michigan, 1920s Lakeside Easy Chat Michigan, and the crazy Plum National 1950s pattern. How will it compare? Well, I predicted wrong again. I thought it would have inherent limitations due to its design. It's a Frankenstein of an axe. It's the axe only Walt Disney would have thought of making. All right, so it's got the long curved bit in the front. Like a Michigan, it's rounded on the toe and heel. It's got a narrow rafting pattern on the back, but it's not hardened. It can't be used as a rafting axe. They usually start at 4 pounds. It's 2 1/4. It's got a very short pull height and a very tall bit height. It's the tallest bit of the boys' axes that I have. I discovered that I really liked the national pattern hand axes with 12 or 14-inch handles. They are just wonderful. So then I got to wondering, what would the boys' axe be like? And if I get a chance, I want to get a full axe size too. And I tell you what, blew me away. There, it's probably my favorite axe now. Let's check it out. To be fair, I need to tell you, all my axes are ground the same. I prefer a 20 degree bevel after much experimentation, and they're all 20. And I need to look at the design itself. Some of them have very short bits, some of them have tall bits. The Groundworks bit, for it amazed me. Look how tall this thing is. That's a modern one, very thin blade, but it matches it for bit height. And then there's the Collins. That's really Trooper Herramientas, Mexican Collins. And then that's the Lakeside. All right, we'll just start with the console tool. That's my favorite all-to go-to axe. I carry it in my truck all the time. It goes with me hunting. I like it a lot. I have no goal here. I am recovering from COVID, not quite over it. Can't breathe very well. I hate wearing gloves when I'm chopping. The accuracy goes way off. And I don't have a purpose here. I'm not trying to buck through them. I just want to feel them. I want to feel what they're like. It's 18 degrees for the high today. It's 11 degrees before I finish. And that's frozen dead ash. And boy, it's hard. I really have to get an angle on it to try to get something to work. Here goes the Groundworks. My least favorite of my axes. I would use it for trimming a lot, and it's my picker-upper. I walk around because it sticks to everything. It's even sticking here. I can't believe it. That's frozen hard ash, dry, and this thing is so thin, it's getting stuck in that as well, especially when it gets pinches in the apex down there. But it's a good axe, like I said, for picking stuff up because it'll stick to any log and you can pick it up and you're cleaning up the yard. And it's good for trimming stuff. It's a good garden axe. All right, so I'm playing with that for a little bit just to sort of enjoy it because I don't use that one much. I might stick it in a log and use it to shave some tinder to make the get the grill started. Um, I try to use all my axes. I would not wish that on anybody. I've completely reprofiled the head. I have no idea what the design was supposed to be, but I turned it into a kind of a Dayton, Michigan type style. Now this one surprises me. That last one was a $20 farm and home store axe that Groundworks. This is the Collins. Collins is a brand that is owned now by the Mexican company Trooper Herramientas. Herramientas. It's called Trooper. And Trooper, Collins, it's the same axe, whether you get one brand or the other. And it's phenomenal. Takes a hard edge, keeps its edge, does a great job. Next to my council tool, it's the axe I would keep if I were going to keep an axe. And it was only 32, 33 bucks. Okay, and now we switch over to the Plum National. And it's a frickin' joy. I don't know. It's the head design. It's also the handle. The handle I got for this one was an Amish one, sold on eBay as a blemished handle. Just because it's got like, I don't know, some included bark on it or something, or a little tiny pin knot. And they didn't want to sell it as a premium axe. So you get like 30% off. So yeah, snap those up and get me an axe handle like that. This is awesome. For 16 bucks, I'm taking it. And if the shipping's low. and I just really enjoy this thing. And I didn't think I would. I was biased against it. I thought the cheeks would be too fat for that tall of a bit on that light of a head, and I thought it would be give me trouble and everything. It does not. It performs well in just about everything. So let's narrow down the selection I have here. This is I think I'm taking out the council tool right now, and then I will have, of these three, I'm going to do the Winchester. I'm going to do the council tools from my modern axe. The Winchester's 1929. They stopped making those. And then the Plum. This is the 1950 to 1954, 1955 style Plum. Before they put the permabond in them, and then in the 1960s they lost the bevels. So 1950s era. And we're just going to try them out together here. And again, I don't have an application goal here. I want wood to stick the axe in. And let's see, on this day, this is the day before, I think this is 23 degrees out, so it's frozen wood. And you'll see it when I hit it against the grain, it's going to bounce. If I hit the end grain, of course, it's going to bounce. It got moisture in it that's frozen, and you know what happens to stumps and stuff when they get moisture, they get waterlogged. Your axe doesn't penetrate; it bounces. If I get enough angle on it, if I get it, like a 45 on it, and angle it to the wood, I can get it to go in. I can get it to penetrate. Not really good for axes. I mean, if these were axes I was going to sell you, I probably would not be testing them right now in these conditions. That's all I need is for them to get so cold that they start to get a little brittle, a little fragile. Because it doesn't take much, be below 20 degrees, you're starting to risk your axe. Unless you keep it warm. Like you can put it in the house and then take it out and go chop wood, but these have been setting out in my truck. And just, like I say, I'm just playing, I'm just feeling. What's it feel like when they bite? How deep do they go? How much can I push them? Do they release? That's a huge one. The Groundworks, of course, I set that one aside right away. The Lakeside is set aside. It's on a 24-inch handle, and it's really on about a 2-pound head. It's not really a fair comparison with that one. That, and it's on its original handle, and that handle was so brittle when I got it. So that's 1920s for that Lakeside Easy Chop. And don't want to push my luck with it because I want to keep it the way it is. I like using it, and my grandson, who's kind of small-framed, that's an axe that he can swing. So that's his axe when we go out and we're bucking wood or felling little trees. That's the one he uses because he's still a little small for the 28-inch, 2¼ pound boys axes. And that's because my grandson is Mexican. So I think he got a little bit of the, what is it? Maybe it's a Mayan or something like that. He's got the smaller frame. Well, that and Americans have been fed for generations, so we're giants, and maybe not in a polite way. We'll save that commentary for a different video. And that one there is the Winchester. I didn't know what I had when I got the Winchester. I'm very pleased. The name, the etching of the name in this one is not clear enough that I probably would sell it to this one right here is the council tool, that I would sell it to a collector or anything. They probably wouldn't be interested, but you can make out the name Winchester on it. And the council tool, of course, I told you is my favorite one, or was. I just kind of started putting it to the side, and a lot of it might have to do with the handle, This one, it's got a nice, beautiful bent curve to it in the handle with a big fat knob, and I like those. The council tool has a very thin knob. It's almost no knob, and I'm not crazy about that. They're getting away with using, I think, slimmer blanks. They're not going with the what I don't know. What do you call it? 6.4, 8.4. I don't know. I just know I like that Amish one. I will buy the Amish ones again and again. Unless, I just want a batch of axe handles, and I'll get them from House Handle Company like I always do. Okay, why are we stuck here? Oh yeah. Okay, we're doing a penetration test here, and tossing that in with a full 28-inch handle, that Amish handle. And the council tool is probably about 27, because after you get a sports utility, you need to rehang it and thin it. They end up at about 27, not 28. They start out with a 28-inch handle. When they're done with it, it's like 27 and 3/4. And then when you get done hanging it correctly, it will be, or hanging it more securely. And they're putting them out with a hydraulic press. When you get a, I've gotten 7 of them, and there was one of them I didn't have to rehang. It was a Dayton on a 36-inch channel, 3.5-pound Dayton felling axe, and that baby came perfect. $59, and it came perfect. But every other one, I even had a jersey that was walking off the shoulder. So yeah, you work your council tool. You got good metal, you got good wood, you know what to do with it. They knew you were going to do something with it. They left you plenty to work with. Go to work with it. If you want a premium accent, to pay the premium price, get their velvet cut. If you want a sports utility, it's because you want to make it yours. So go do that. And this Plum, man, all I did with that was take the bit down to 20 degrees and put a micro bevel on it. I don't know, millimeter to 2 millimeters at the very most. Putting in like 30 or something with a stone. And this one I actually did touch up with some sandpaper so you can see it shine a little bit. Not really a mirror polish, but it took some of the scratches out. And I was doing that because I didn't have my strop handy, and so I used a block that had a rubber block that had some 2000 grit paper on it. And I was just taking off the burr, and then I just started to caress it a little long, so it shines a little bit. You'll see that half banana on there shining. And then I had to do it twice because the toe and the heel had to come down more. This did not penetrate the first time I sharpened it. And then I finally got it so it's a true 20-degree bevel, just under 20, from the toe to the heel all the way along. And look what it does. And it's holding its edge. And it's cheeky enough that it's bouncing out. I've had this for a couple months now, actually, and I tell you what, I've used it in every kind of wood, and I took that one on one hunting trip with me to make my ground blind, and I I I'm a convert. The council tool is now my second favorite axe. That's why they're going head to head here, and that's got a great big knot on the side of it. But let's see if we can get through it. It's frozen, so it should pop. It didn't pop that. I hit the knot dead on. We'll try it again and see if we can get through that. And it comes apart. The wedginess of the Plum is part of what makes it so enjoyable. Like I said, the handle is one that I put on it. I really like that handle. I like the way it feels when I swing it. Makes a huge difference. I know I had a Kelly Perfect I just absolutely abhorred. Couldn't stand it. Handle broke because it was I always buy defective handles. I'm a sucker for cheap things, and this one had such bad run out that it popped just where I thought it was going to pop. Night it wasn't disappointed. I put a house handle on it, and it's a totally different axe. That weird French curve thing with the run out, I hated the feel of it, and it changed my opinion of the axe. You might want to keep that in mind too when you're working on your own. Who was it? Kevin's Disobedience. I watched one of his videos, and he mentioned something. So much is about the handle. Boy, is that true. Um, it just that Kelly Perfect that I've got now is probably one of my favorite 32-inch axes, 3.5-pound head, and the way it performs, the way I think about it is different just because I put a different handle on it. So maybe with this Plum, a lot of it has to do with the handle. If I put a different handle on the council tool, it might change my mind. But that said, council tool has a shorter bit, so that gives it sort of a penetration advantage, except it's got absolute flat, ruler straight flat cheeks, and it's thin. And so it will tend not to displace chips the way the Plum will. The Plum is really nice here because I'm poking it in there pretty good. and the log's letting it come back. And again, it's frozen wood. So how sticky is that going to be? It's going to tend to be brittle. On the other hand, you saw the Groundworks axe earlier getting stuck. So, and it will grab this a little bit. When I get down to the apex like that of the notch, it bounces because there's not so much to cut. And if I can get it really forced in there, then the other side's going to pinch the axe. That's when it's going to stick a little bit. All right. How hard is this wood? Oh, it's coming up. It's going to be hilarious. Um, when I try to do another comparison by sticking them side to side, and I can't get the axe to go in. But here we're back to the council tool, doing a notch to try to see what's it feel like. How does it feel to me? And that's all you can ever go by is your own personal feeling. Somebody else might walk up and just really like this one more. But to me, this is doing really well. And if I didn't have that plum already making a notch, I would think to myself, this is my favorite axe. But doing it side by side like this, and I couldn't even tell when I was using the plum by itself without having that one right next to it and putting it in my hand, changing over, doing it with the other axe, having a direct comparison in the moment, I wouldn't be able to tell. In fact, I still thought the council tool was my favorite axe until I did this, until this day when I did this. And then I said, oh my gosh, the plum that I cut down, the plum I made fun of for all this time, the plum I believed would not have a chance in heck trying to compare to a regular traditional axe. I'm just wrong. I am once again, and that's why I do this. You can theorize all you want to, but at a certain point, you got to get off your butt, go outside, and feel it for yourself. That's the whole thing behind these videos. I record them so I can watch them again. To me, I have a question, and then I go out and try to solve it. The next question I'm going to try to solve, of course, is about the jerseys. I can't wait to get that video done. My perfect jersey came. I've got another jersey I would swear was a flint edge version of a jersey. They're cheeky axes. And you notice here, that log is so hard. I have to put everything aside and concentrate to get them to go in. But there you go. And the Plum National is now my favorite boys axe. Say, you don't know anybody selling a 3.5 or 4 pound National, do you?